All right, what I want to talk to you about today is ticks. I get a lot of comments and a lot of questions from people saying, hey Chig, you're always out and about in the woods and the field. How do you deal with ticks? Now, for those of you that don't know, ticks are a little insect that you'll find in the woods and in tall grasses that when you walk through it will get on you, crawl on different places of your body, bite into you, suck the blood out of you for 3, 4, 5 days and get fat like a big old grape and then fall off. That's if you don't pick them off. But the problem is while they're doing all this stuff, is that they can inject into you some very nasty diseases. I think there's actually like at least 12 diseases now in the United States you can get from tick bites, including Lyme disease, which most of you guys have heard of. And there's a new one, I can't remember the name, but it actually makes it so that in some people you can't eat red meat, like ever again. And in case you're wondering where these little insects, these ticks live, they live in like tall grass or medium to tall grass in bushes. In fact, pretty much stuff like this. See how this kind of grassy area, when you walk through it, or you walk through this, especially this kind of grass. If there were a lot of ticks near here, and I'm actually on my own property, I would have lots of ticks on me by now. I've been walking around actually out here for about 10 minutes trying to find one for you, but I don't have many ticks here for some reason. Or when you're walking through bushes like this. And what the ticks are doing in the grass is they'll climb up to like a high point because they want to get on a person or deer or raccoon or any warm-blooded animal and get onto them so that they can suck their blood. So they get up on these little bushes like this and like the grass stems and the leaves out there. And I joke you not, they'll put their like front legs up like this. They go like this up in the air. You'll see them just sitting there like this, except they're spread out. And what happens is when you go by, or an animal goes by, it takes some of their little fingers and it snags you and it goes right onto your body, or to your pants legs, or to your fur coat, or whatever you or it happens to have as an outer covering that day. So here's what I would recommend you do. Wear long pants, wear a shirt, preferably light colored. And you want it light colored, not because they're not attracted to light colors, but because you can see them if they get on you. You're going to have to once they're on you, you're going to have to pick them off eventually. When you want to get them before they actually get embedded into your skin. So if you have on light pants, like I happen to have today, have khakis on, you can usually see them crawling up your legs. Or if you have somebody you're hiking with, have them, check you out every once in a while and do the same for them. Now, you notice one thing with my boots. And I highly recommend you do this if you're in a tick area or you're worried about ticks, and I recommend that you be worried about ticks. If you're walking on the grass and a tick gets on your shoe, they're going to crawl up your shoe, and if your pant legs are like this, they're going to crawl right up across here, up over your socks, and guess what? They're going to get on your leg. They're going to start hunting for a place to bite you. And back in the old days, like when I was a kid, they almost always went for your scalp. But nowadays, that's not so true. They'll bite you anywhere. And by anywhere, I mean anywhere. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So here's what you can do to keep them from crawling up your pants leg. What I would recommend doing is tucking your pant legs into your boots. Is what we call like blousing in the military. So what you do is just have your boots open, take your pants leg, fold it over, tuck it down in your boot like that. And make sure it's nice and flat so it's not uncomfortable. And then just tie up your boots. And I just do a really quick tie like this. I would just put a little knot on it because I find it doesn't come undone as easily. So now if you get a tick on your shoe or your boot, it's going to come up. It's going to have to go up on the outside of your pants leg and work its way up to your body. And meantime, you're watching for it crawling on your legs, or your buddy's watching for it. So now let's go to your shirt. Tuck it in. Don't just have it hanging loose. A t-shirt or this kind of shirt, whatever, because when they come up to here, they'll go right over the top of your belt or your, where it's tucked in, and keep going towards your head. And it gives you more time to find them. And I've noticed that when a tick gets on your neck, like it's crawling up to your head or your face, you'll know it. So you're like, what's that? And you pull it off. But if he's like burrowing on the back of your knee, which I've seen quite a bit, you may not ever feel him until it's too late. Another thing you can do with your boots or your shoes, if you don't want to put them inside your boots like I just did, is this other little trick. This looks goofy, but it works. It just puts your pants out inside your sock like that. That way the tick still has to work its way on the outside. And you notice that's not in the boot at all. Let's talk about the other way to keep ticks off you. Now, I would recommend that you do the methods that I just discussed, you know, tucking your pants in and stuff at least, no matter what. But you can actually spray your clothes now with different chemicals. Well, actually there's 2 chemicals that will absolutely kill the ticks when they crawl on your clothes. And I'm going to put a link in the video, a pinned comment to a couple products on Amazon. I'm not endorsing those products, but I'll give you a place to go to start reading about the things I'm going to tell you about. What you do with these sprays is you take the spray and just spray your clothes, the outside of your clothes, like your pant legs, okay? And once it dries, they say it's very safe. When it's wet, not so much. But once it dries, they say it's very safe. And if a tick crawls on your pant legs, you can watch him crawling up your leg and just like stop all of a sudden, and he's dead. And there's a couple different brands you can buy, and there's 2 different chemicals that you can use in slightly different ways. This is what you would typically find like at Walmart or any sporting goods store. You can order it online. This is called Repel, but what you're looking for is this chemical right here, permethrin or permethrin, and it repels and kills ticks, mites, and mosquitoes. Now keep in mind, you only put this on your clothes. Do not put this on your skin. Bad things can happen. If you spray your pants with it, guess what? This treatment lasts up to 2 weeks. So those pants you can wear outside and bebop around for 2 weeks and not have to worry about the ticks getting on you. Typically it's like half of 1% is the concentration. That's what it is, like half of 1% of permethrin. And again, you can buy this almost anywhere, and I'll put some links for some other, you know, for the product so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, if you want to really get serious, and if you guys, for those of you that actually like have land and you do insect control and stuff on, there's something else you can get. And this is what I actually use. That was River Treasure for me that I picked up when I was on the river. I use a product, this is called Telstar. There's different brands, but it has something similar to permethrins in it, but it's slightly different. It's called bifenthrin. Again, I'll put a link to a product like this. You see, this is like 7.9%. So you're going to dilute this, like this little container right here. You can make many gallons of it. 1 ounce to a gallon. That was to kill stink bugs. It kills a lot of different types of bugs. And you can take that, you can actually put it into like a little tub and push your clothes in it and just like really completely saturate them, hang them out to dry, and they say it's safe after that. And not only will that could last for months, but you can also wash your clothes many times and it will still kill the ticks. So what I do is I just have that concentrate. I actually have a giant 1 gallon jug of that too, because I had some other insect problems years ago. And I put it in a little spray bottle like this that I can just spray on my pant legs, you know, like that. And once it dries, that will last for, I think they say like 3 weeks, a month or 2. You can actually wash your clothes and it'll still be good. That's a chemical barrier, and I highly recommend. I know a lot of you guys don't like to use chemicals like this, so the physical barriers, you know, do help you a lot, but the chemical barriers will absolutely work. I got to tell you, with all the diseases the ticks have nowadays that they didn't have 20, 30, 40 years ago, that's probably the most dangerous thing out there that's going to get you out walking in the woods. It's not bears, it's not snakes, it's ticks. So what do you do after you've been out hiking all day and you get home and there's no ticks on you? Here's what you need to do anyway, and I highly recommend this. Strip your clothes off. And remember, especially if you don't have chemicals on them, that those ticks could still be on your clothes. So if you throw the clothes in the hamper or at the foot of the bed or wherever you throw them, those ticks can crawl off and come looking for you in the night. And I've had that happen. In fact, I had that happen not too long ago where I was out digging and I got like 6 ticks on me that day, and I threw my clothes at the foot of the bed when I got in bed, and guess what? The ticks came and got me during the night, and I'm pretty sure they came off my clothes because I hadn't sprayed them. So be aware of that, but also be aware of this. Those ticks can be on you and they can be anywhere. Dog ticks, Lone Star ticks, they're pretty big, they're fairly easy to see. You can often feel them when they're crawling on you. But the little deer ticks, those are the ones that will get you and cause you big problems. Or the little seed ticks, which are just regular ticks, but they're babies because ticks have to feed several times in their life. They're really hard to see. They're just like little specks, little grains of pepper almost, and you really got to look for them. So what I would recommend you do, strip down, buck naked, just like George Costanza, buck naked. Get in front of a full-length mirror, arms up in the air so you can see your armpits. Spin around slowly, looking everywhere in the mirror. And if you have a significant other or someone else can look for you, have them look for you, because the deer ticks are very, very small. They're like a little piece of pepper that might be on you. You got to get them off of there. When I say check everywhere, I mean check everywhere. Guys, you're going to have to check the boys. You're going to have to squat down and really go in there. And you got to check the captain too, because I had someone tell me recently that they had a tick there. And you know, you got to pull them off. You got to get them off your body any way you can. So check everywhere. Now, if you miss them, typically within a day or so, you'll start to get a little itch. Especially with the deer ticks, it'll start to swell up and get red. Not necessarily the big rash that you get when you have Lyme disease, but you'll just be like a mosquito bite almost, and really look close at those. I mean, sometimes you can't hardly even see the tick because the little deer ticks, I think they're the deer ticks or the sea ticks, but the little tiny ones will burrow into your skin. And if they're burrowed into you, you may have to use tweezers or a knife or razor or something to cut them out, but you want to get them out of your body so they don't give you disease. And if you're very unfortunate, you could have hundreds of them stuck on you in every conceivable place. And if you're fortunate, you've done all the things I talked about, you won't have any. So ticks, the number one danger for people, I think, who are out doing stuff like this. It's not bears, it's not snakes, it's not other people, it's ticks. She don't care if you're dying or if you're living or somewhere in the